Worry ends where faith begins. Human life unfolds within a landscape of uncertainty. Each day presents questions that cannot be fully answered in advance, outcomes that cannot be perfectly predicted, and circumstances that remain beyond personal control. In response to this uncertainty, the mind often generates worry, a repetitive pattern of thought centered on potential loss, imagined failure, or anticipated discomfort. Worry seeks to protect us by attempting to anticipate danger and prepare for adversity. Yet while this impulse may arise from a desire for safety, its effects frequently lead to emotional fatigue, restlessness, and a diminished sense of peace. From a spiritual perspective, worry represents more than a cognitive habit. It reflects a deeper struggle between the desire for control and the reality of impermanence. Worry emerges when the mind attempts to manage an unpredictable future through mental rehearsal, believing that constant vigilance can prevent undesired outcomes. However, because the future cannot be fully controlled, worry often perpetuates a cycle of anxiety rather than resolving uncertainty. Faith, in contrast, introduces a different orientation toward the unknown. Rather than attempting to eliminate uncertainty through mental effort alone, faith involves a willingness to engage with life despite uncertainty. It is not necessarily the absence of questions, but the presence of trust in the unfolding of events, in one's capacity to respond, or in a broader order that extends beyond immediate understanding. In this sense, the statement "worry ends where faith begins" highlights a transition in awareness. It suggests that worry and faith represent opposing responses to uncertainty. Where worry seeks certainty through control, faith accepts uncertainty with openness. Where worry focuses on imagined threats, faith attempts to present possibilities. The movement from worry to faith does not require denial of difficulty. Rather, it involves a shift in attention from what cannot be controlled to what can be engaged with constructively. Spiritually, this shift often begins with acceptance. Acceptance does not imply approval of challenging circumstances, nor does it entail resignation. Instead, it involves acknowledging reality as it currently exists, without excessive resistance. When individuals accept that certain outcomes remain beyond their influence, they may redirect their energy toward actions that align with their values or intentions. This redirection can reduce the intensity of worry by grounding attention in the present moment. Mindfulness practices frequently support this process. By observing thoughts without immediate reaction, individuals may notice how worry manifests as a series of predictions or assumptions about the future. Recognizing these patterns allows for greater discernment. Rather than engaging with each anxious thought as though it were factual, individuals may learn to acknowledge worry as a mental event that need not determine behavior. Faith in this context may be understood as confidence in the process of engagement, rather than certainty of outcome. It affirms that while results cannot always be guaranteed, meaningful action remains possible. This confidence may arise from prior experiences of resilience, from supportive relationships, or from contemplative reflection on broader patterns of growth. Importantly, faith does not eliminate responsibility. It does not encourage passivity or neglect of practical concerns. Instead, it complements responsible action by reducing excessive rumination. Individuals who approach challenges with faith may still plan, prepare, and act. However, they do so without becoming consumed by hypothetical scenarios that cannot be fully resolved through thought alone. As faith develops, it can influence emotional experience. Trust in one's capacity to adapt may reduce fear of unforeseen outcomes. Confidence in collective support may lessen feelings of isolation. Reflection on personal values may clarify priorities and guide decision-making. These effects can create a sense of steadiness even when circumstances remain complex. Community often plays a role in cultivating faith. Shared experiences, dialogue, and mutual encouragement can reinforce trust and perspective. Recognizing that others have navigated uncertainty successfully may support individual confidence. Participation in collective practices such as reflection, service, or dialogue may further strengthen resilience. Over time, the interplay between worry and faith may become more apparent. Individuals may notice that as attention shifts toward constructive engagement and acceptance, the intensity of worry diminishes. While concerns about the future may still arise, they need not dominate awareness. Instead, they may be balanced by trust in one's ability to respond effectively. Ultimately, the relationship between worry and faith reflects a broader spiritual principle. The movement from resistance toward openness. Worry attempts to secure certainty through mental effort, often leading to tension. Faith embraces uncertainty while remaining committed to meaningful action, fostering a sense of peace. Therefore, the statement "worry ends where faith begins" may be understood as an invitation to reconsider how uncertainty is approached. By cultivating acceptance, mindfulness, trust, and constructive engagement, individuals may reduce the impact of worry and develop a more grounded sense of confidence. This transition does not eliminate challenges, but it can transform the way they are experienced, supporting resilience and clarity within the ongoing unfolding of life.